Allah does not remove comfort to punish you. He removes it because comfort was lying to you. What you called stability was not certainty. It was habit. It was predictability. It was false safety. And as long as you felt comfortable, you never needed to trust Allah completely. You trusted plans, people, money, timing. So Allah started removing the things you leaned on, not all at once, but one by one. Not because you were weak, but because certainty cannot be built on comfort. This video will explain why Allah strips ease before He gives clarity, why life feels unstable right before your faith becomes unshakable, and why the moment everything feels uncertain is often the moment Allah is about to anchor your heart. If you're confused right now, this message is for you. Comfort creates a quiet deception in the heart. When life flows smoothly, the mind assumes stability is earned, controlled, and guaranteed. You begin to think tomorrow will look like today because today feels manageable. This is not certainty, this is conditioning. The heart confuses repetition with security and habit with safety. Certainty is rooted in truth, not patterns. Comfort trains the soul to rely on continuity instead of Allah. When nothing shakes, nothing questions. The heart settles into autopilot and stops examining what it truly depends on. This is how illusion grows unnoticed, wrapped in calm. When life is comfortable, control feels real. Plans seem reliable, timelines feel trustworthy, and outcomes appear predictable. The heart quietly shifts from reliance on Allah to reliance on structure. You still believe, but belief becomes background noise instead of foundation. That shift is subtle, but dangerous. Comfort creates confidence without depth. You feel steady, but not anchored. Your peace is conditional on circumstances staying friendly. As long as nothing threatens your routine, your faith feels strong. But strength that has never been tested is only assumed, not proven. Illusion thrives where nothing is challenged. Comfort protects assumptions from exposure. You assume your job will remain, your health will hold, your relationships will last. These assumptions are not sinful, but they are fragile. Certainty does not rely on assumptions. It survives without them. The heart in comfort rarely asks serious questions. It does not ask who truly sustains it, because sustenance appears uninterrupted. It does not ask where safety really comes from, because danger feels distant. Comfort delays awareness, not because it is evil, but because it is numbing. Certainty requires clarity, and clarity requires contrast. Comfort removes contrast. When everything feels fine, the soul cannot distinguish between what is essential and what is convenient. Allah allows comfort, but He does not allow illusion to last forever. People often think peace comes from stability. In reality, stability without Allah is temporary calm, not peace. Comfort convinces the heart that it has arrived somewhere safe. Certainty knows there is no safety except with Allah. That difference only becomes visible when comfort cracks. Comfort teaches the heart to trust what it can see. Bank balances, routines, familiar faces, predictable days. Certainty teaches the heart to trust what it cannot see. Allah removes comfort to shift the axis of trust from visible systems to unseen support. Illusion feels gentle. It does not announce itself loudly. It whispers reassurance. It says, "You're fine, things are under control." Certainty, by contrast, is sober. It does not promise ease, it promises truth. Truth often begins where reassurance ends. When comfort dominates, the soul confuses calm with correctness. Just because something feels stable does not mean it is aligned. Comfort can exist in misdirection. Certainty only exists in alignment with Allah, regardless of how life feels. Comfort delays surrender. As long as life works, surrender feels unnecessary. You obey, but you also manage. You trust, but you also calculate. This divided posture cannot produce certainty. Certainty requires undivided reliance. Illusion grows strongest when nothing is missing. Lack exposes dependence. Need reveals priorities. Comfort hides both. Allah removes comfort not to introduce chaos, but to restore honesty between the heart and its Lord. The most dangerous illusion comfort creates is the belief that things will continue because they always have. This belief quietly replaces tawakkul with expectation. Certainty does not expect continuity. It expects Allah. Comfort can make faith situational. You turn to Allah, but not urgently. You remember Him, but not desperately. Certainty is forged when remembrance becomes necessity, not routine. Illusion is fragile, but it feels convincing while intact. It only collapses under pressure. When comfort disappears, the heart realizes how much it relied on what was never promised. That realization is painful, but clarifying. Certainty does not emerge from abundance, it emerges from exposure. When comfort leaves, the heart is forced to confront what actually sustains it. That confrontation strips illusion and replaces it with truth. Allah removes comfort because illusion cannot coexist with certainty. One must give way. If illusion remains, certainty cannot enter. If certainty is to be built, illusion must be dismantled first. The loss of comfort is not the loss of safety, it is the loss of false safety. Real safety begins when the heart no longer depends on circumstances to feel secure. Certainty is not emotional calm, it is spiritual clarity. Comfort mimics calm without clarity. Allah refuses to leave His servant trapped in imitation peace. This is why comfort leaves before certainty arrives. Illusion must fall so truth can stand. What feels like destabilization is often the first moment the heart begins to see clearly. Comfort creates a convenient fog around the heart. When life is stable, it becomes difficult to tell what you truly rely on. Everything seems to work together smoothly, so trust feels distributed and harmless. You trust Allah, but you also trust income, people, routines, and plans. Comfort allows this mixture to feel normal. True trust only becomes visible when support systems are removed. As long as comfort remains, reliance is never isolated. The heart can claim tawakkul while quietly leaning on substitutes. This divided dependence goes unnoticed because nothing demands clarity. Comfort teaches the heart to spread its weight across many supports. Money absorbs anxiety, people absorb loneliness, planning absorbs fear of the future. Allah remains present, but not central. This balance feels safe until one support fails. When Allah removes comfort, it is not sudden cruelty, it is intentional exposure. He strips away the layers that shield the heart from recognizing its real attachments. What remains after loss is what the heart was actually trusting all along. Many people discover their true reliance through panic. The moment stability breaks, the heart runs somewhere instinctively. That instinct reveals more than words ever could. Comfort hides this truth by preventing the test. Comfort allows trust to be conditional. You trust Allah as long as life makes sense. When comfort leaves, conditional trust collapses. Allah removes comfort to force an honest answer to a simple question. Is He enough when nothing else is? The heart often believes it trusts Allah because it has never had to choose Him alone. Comfort prevents that choice from becoming urgent. Without urgency, trust remains theoretical. Allah removes comfort to make trust necessary. When comfort disappears, anxiety surfaces quickly. That anxiety is not the problem, it is the indicator. It shows where the heart was anchored. Certainty cannot grow in a heart that has not confronted this truth. Some people rely on relationships more than they realize. Others rely on status, health, or control. Comfort keeps these dependencies invisible. Allah exposes them by removing the ease that kept them hidden. Trust that has never been tested is fragile. Comfort preserves fragile trust. Hardship strengthens real trust. Allah removes comfort to replace fragile reliance with firm dependence on Him. The heart resists this exposure. It wants comfort back, not clarity. But Allah prioritizes purification over relief. Certainty requires a single axis of trust, not scattered reliance. Comfort lets the heart say, "I trust Allah," without ever proving it. Loss demands proof. In loss, the heart must either collapse or realign. There is no middle ground. When Allah removes comfort, many supports vanish at once. This is not punishment, it is simplification. Allah reduces complexity so the heart can learn where safety truly lies. People often ask why Allah didn't remove things gradually. Sometimes gradual removal would allow replacement. Sudden loss reveals dependence without giving the heart time to hide it again. Comfort protects the ego's illusion of self-sufficiency. It allows the heart to believe it is managing life. Allah removes comfort to dismantle that illusion gently but firmly. The moment the heart turns fully to Allah, even briefly, something shifts. Fear softens, panic loosens. That moment reveals what true reliance feels like. Comfort delays this discovery. Certainty grows when the heart experiences Allah as sufficient, not just acknowledged. This experience cannot happen while alternatives remain comfortable and reliable. Allah does not want divided trust. He wants clarity, not confusion. Comfort blurs dependence. Hardship sharpens it. What you reach for when comfort disappears is your true God. Allah removes comfort, so false gods fall away without debate. Trust, purified through loss, becomes unshakable. Once the heart knows Allah is enough, comfort no longer controls it. This is why comfort hides what you really trust, and why Allah removes it before certainty can take root. Comfort dulls urgency. When life feels manageable, guidance feels optional rather than essential. You still listen, but without hunger. You still hear reminders, but without pressure to act. Comfort convinces the heart that direction is helpful, not necessary. When things are working, the soul assumes it already knows enough. It relies on experience, habits, and patterns. Guidance becomes something you agree with, not something you depend on. This is how the heart slowly drifts while believing it is still aligned. Comfort makes mistakes feel low risk. If you choose wrong, life seems forgiving. You can recover, adjust, and move on. This false flexibility reduces the seriousness of guidance. The heart stops asking, "What does Allah want?" and starts asking, "What usually works?" Certainty cannot grow in that mindset. Certainty requires awareness of limitation. As long as comfort exists, limitation feels distant. The heart forgets how fragile understanding really is. Allah removes comfort to reintroduce urgency. When stability breaks, questions change. You stop asking what is convenient and start asking what is correct. Guidance shifts from advice to survival. In discomfort, the soul listens differently. Words that once sounded repetitive suddenly feel sharp. Verses that once felt familiar now feel personal. This is not coincidence. This is the heart reopening its need for direction. Comfort allows selective obedience. You take what aligns with ease and postpone what challenges comfort. Guidance becomes negotiable. Allah removes comfort, so guidance becomes non-negotiable. When ease disappears, the illusion of self-navigation collapses. You realize how often you were guessing, assuming, or following momentum. That realization humbles the heart and makes it teachable again. Guidance requires humility. Comfort feeds quiet arrogance, the belief that you're doing fine. Allah removes comfort to break that belief without breaking the soul. Humility returns, and with it, clarity. People often say they want guidance, but what they want is reassurance. Reassurance tells you that you're already right. Guidance tells you where you're wrong. Comfort prefers reassurance. Certainty demands guidance. When Allah removes comfort, confusion increases before clarity appears. This stage feels disorienting, but it is necessary. The heart must admit it does not know before it can be guided. Comfort delays repentance. When life feels stable, urgency to correct the self weakens. Discomfort makes the heart confront its misalignment honestly. Guidance begins there. Certainty is not the absence of questions, it is the presence of direction despite questions. Comfort creates fewer questions but weaker direction. Hardship creates sharper direction through deeper seeking. Allah removes comfort, so guidance stops being background noise and becomes a lifeline. The heart stops skimming truth and starts holding onto it. When guidance is no longer optional, sincerity increases. You don't seek answers to win arguments or feel inspired. You seek answers to survive spiritually. That sincerity opens doors comfort never could. Comfort allows spiritual procrastination. You plan to change later, grow later, surrender later. Allah removes comfort to make later impossible. Guidance becomes immediate. Certainty grows when guidance is obeyed under pressure, not acknowledged in ease. Obedience during discomfort anchors belief more deeply than years of calm learning. Allah does not remove comfort to confuse you permanently. He removes it to strip away false confidence so real guidance can land. The heart guided after discomfort is different. It is quieter, less argumentative, more grounded. It does not chase every opinion. It values direction over validation. This is why comfort softens the need for guidance, and why Allah removes it before certainty can form. Comfort allows partial submission. You obey Allah while things are manageable, but you still hold the steering wheel. You pray, yet you calculate. You trust, yet you prepare backups. This divided posture feels responsible, but it is not surrender. As long as comfort exists, surrender remains theoretical. You say, Allah is enough, but you do not have to live it. Comfort gives the illusion that surrender is optional because outcomes seem controllable. Certainty cannot grow in optional submission. True surrender begins when negotiation ends. As long as comfort remains, the heart negotiates silently. It obeys with conditions, patience with deadlines, trust with expectations. Allah removes comfort to collapse these negotiations. When comfort is stripped, control collapses with it. Plans fail, timelines break, and expectations lose their grip. This moment feels like loss, but it is actually exposure. The heart is revealed to itself. Surrender is not weakness, it is alignment. But alignment requires letting go of imagined authority. Comfort feeds the belief that you are managing life well. Allah removes comfort to dismantle that belief gently but decisively. People often think surrender means giving up effort. In reality, surrender means releasing outcomes. Comfort blurs this distinction by rewarding effort with predictable results. Hardship breaks that equation. Without comfort, obedience becomes raw. You obey without feedback. You trust without reassurance. You continue without visible progress. This is where surrender stops being spoken and starts being lived. The heart resists surrender because surrender feels unsafe. Comfort acts as a shield against that fear. Allah removes the shield, so the heart learns that safety does not come from control, but from reliance on Him. When surrender is forced by circumstances, it initially feels humiliating, but over time, it becomes freeing. The burden of managing everything lifts. The soul breathes differently. Comfort delays this freedom. It keeps the soul busy, maintaining control instead of releasing it. Certainty cannot coexist with this tension. Certainty requires rest in Allah's decree. Many people want clarity without surrender. They want answers while still holding leverage. Allah does not operate that way. He removes comfort to make surrender unavoidable. Surrender cannot be partial. You cannot place half your weight on Allah and half on outcomes. Comfort enables this split. Hardship exposes it. When Allah removes comfort, fear rises. That fear is not failure. It is the heart realizing how much it depended on itself. This realization is painful, but it is the doorway to surrender. Certainty grows when the heart accepts that control was never real. Comfort sustains the illusion of control. Allah removes comfort so the heart can stop defending a lie. The surrendered heart stops demanding explanations. It stops bargaining for timelines. It trusts without needing visibility. Comfort cannot produce this state. Only release can. Allah does not break the heart to force surrender. He loosens its grip so surrender can happen naturally. Comfort tightens the grip. Difficulty loosens it. When surrender finally settles, the heart becomes steady even in uncertainty. That steadiness is not emotional calm, it is spiritual alignment. Certainty lives there. Comfort postpones this alignment. It keeps surrender theoretical. Allah removes comfort, so surrender becomes real. This is why surrender follows discomfort, and why certainty waits on the other side. Comfort slows the development of the soul. When life is easy, growth feels unnecessary. The heart remains protected from pressure, and without pressure, there is little reason to evolve. Maturity is forged in responsibility, not relaxation. Comfort postpones that responsibility quietly. Inner maturity requires confrontation with limits. Comfort hides limits. It allows the heart to believe it is stronger, wiser, and more prepared than it actually is. As long as life cooperates, these assumptions go unchallenged. Certainty cannot grow in untested confidence. When comfort dominates, emotional muscles weaken. Patience is shallow because it is rarely required. Restraint is theoretical because temptation feels distant. Endurance is imagined, not lived. Allah removes comfort to train what ease never could. Maturity is not knowledge, it is stability under strain. Comfort produces information without integration. You may know what is right, but you have never had to choose it when it costs you. Allah removes comfort, so choices gain weight. The immature soul reacts, the mature soul responds. Comfort allows reaction because consequences feel manageable. Hardship demands response because stakes are real. Certainty is built in response, not reaction. Comfort delays accountability. When things are going well, self-examination feels optional. You excuse flaws because they are not costing you yet. Difficulty removes excuses. It forces the heart to face itself honestly. Allah does not rush maturity. He accelerates it when necessary. When the soul lingers too long in comfort, growth stagnates. Discomfort compresses lessons into shorter time frames. What comfort teaches slowly, hardship teaches quickly. Inner strength cannot be borrowed, it must be developed. Comfort allows dependence on external stability. Hardship demands internal resilience. Certainty requires that resilience. Many people confuse peace with immaturity. They think calm means readiness, but calm without depth collapses under pressure. Allah removes comfort to replace surface calm with rooted steadiness. Maturity includes accepting responsibility for one's state. Comfort encourages blame shifting. You attribute success to yourself and difficulty to circumstances. Hardship removes that illusion and forces ownership. Comfort delays the development of Sabr. Sabr is not passive waiting, it is disciplined endurance. Without pressure, Sabr remains untrained. Allah removes comfort so Sabr becomes embodied, not admired. The soul matures when it learns to hold conflicting emotions without collapsing. Comfort avoids this tension. Hardship introduces it. Certainty grows when the heart can carry complexity without panic. Comfort keeps faith dependent on mood. When life feels good, belief feels strong. When life shifts, belief weakens. Maturity stabilizes faith beyond emotion. Allah removes comfort to separate faith from feeling. The mature heart understands limits and accepts them. Comfort feeds entitlement. It creates the belief that ease is normal and difficulty is abnormal. Allah removes comfort to reset expectations to reality. Growth requires friction. Comfort removes friction. Without friction, nothing sharpens. Allah introduces difficulty not to harm the soul, but to refine it. Inner maturity includes long vision. Comfort narrows focus to the present. Hardship expands perspective. Eternity becomes relevant. Certainty grows when the soul stops living only for now. Allah removes comfort to teach the soul how to stand without props. When supports fall away, balance must come from within. That balance is maturity. Maturity also includes emotional regulation. Comfort allows indulgence. Hardship demands discipline. Certainty requires disciplined emotion, not suppressed emotion. The mature soul does not chase reassurance. It rests in trust. Comfort creates dependence on reassurance. Allah removes it so trust can stand alone. When maturity arrives, the heart is quieter. It complains less, demands less, and steadies more quickly. This state cannot be rushed by ease. Comfort delays this transformation. Difficulty completes it. That is why Allah removes comfort before granting certainty. Comfort quietly narrows vision. When life feels easy, attention drifts toward maintenance of ease rather than purpose. You think about preserving what you have instead of preparing for what comes after. The heart becomes occupied, not oriented. Eternity fades into background theory. When comfort is present, dunya feels sufficient, not perfect, but adequate. That sense of adequacy is dangerous because it reduces urgency. You postpone reflection, repentance, and depth because nothing feels pressing. Certainty cannot grow where urgency is absent. Comfort trains the mind to prioritize convenience. Decisions are filtered through what feels least disruptive. Over time, this preference reshapes values. What is easy starts to feel right. What is demanding starts to feel unnecessary. Eternal priorities slowly lose their weight. The soul was not designed to be fed constantly by comfort. It was designed to be guided by meaning. Comfort overstimulates the temporary and underfeeds the permanent. Allah removes comfort to rebalance the soul's appetite. When life is smooth, reminders of death feel distant. Akhirah feels real only in language, not in urgency. Comfort softens the reality of accountability. Allah removes comfort to make the unseen feel near again. Comfort encourages attachment to outcomes. You invest emotionally in results because results have been predictable. When outcomes define peace, eternity becomes secondary. Certainty requires detachment from outcomes, not mastery over them. Many people confuse gratitude with satisfaction. Gratitude recognizes blessing. Satisfaction settles into dunya. Comfort can slide gratitude into satisfaction without notice. Allah removes comfort to revive awareness before satisfaction hardens the heart. Eternal priorities require sacrifice. Comfort avoids sacrifice. It teaches the soul to preserve energy, avoid loss, and minimize discomfort. Allah removes comfort so the soul remembers that real gain often requires letting go. Comfort keeps time feeling abundant. Days blend together, weeks pass unnoticed. When time feels endless, preparation feels optional. Allah removes comfort to restore the seriousness of time. When comfort dominates, worship can become routine without depth. Actions continue, but presence fades. The heart performs without trembling. Allah removes comfort to bring trembling back. Comfort also distracts from intention. You do good, but without urgency. You obey, but without intensity. Eternity requires intention sharpened by awareness, not dulled by ease. Allah does not forbid comfort, but He does not allow it to define the heart. When comfort starts shaping identity, removal becomes mercy. Eternity must remain central. When discomfort arrives, priorities reorder themselves naturally. What mattered yesterday feels small. What was ignored becomes essential. Allah uses discomfort to recalibrate attention toward what lasts. Comfort allows procrastination of change. You plan to improve later because life feels stable now. Allah removes comfort to eliminate later from the equation. Eternal priorities demand consistency, not convenience. Comfort favors convenience. Allah removes comfort so consistency can form under pressure. The heart that has never felt loss struggles to value permanence. Hardship teaches impermanence quickly. Certainty grows when the heart stops confusing temporary stability with lasting security. Comfort makes the soul forget how little it controls. Eternity reminds the soul how little control matters. Allah removes comfort to realign the soul with its true scale. When comfort disappears, attachment loosens. With less to protect, the heart becomes freer to focus on Allah. This freedom is essential for certainty. Eternal priorities cannot compete with comfort. They require silence, depth, and reflection. Allah removes noise by removing ease. Comfort is a veil, not an enemy. Allah lifts the veil so the soul can see clearly again. What remains after comfort leaves is what truly matters. This is why comfort distracts from eternity, and why Allah removes it before certainty is allowed to settle. Allah did not take your comfort because you were weak. He took it because comfort was never meant to carry you. What collapsed was not your life. It was the illusion that something other than Allah was holding it together. Certainty is not found when everything works. It is found when nothing does and you still stand. If you are uncomfortable right now, unsettled, stripped of ease, this is not the end of your faith. It is the moment it becomes real. Allah removes comfort before giving certainty, because certainty cannot live in a heart that is still being entertained. When ease leaves, truth arrives, and when truth settles, nothing can shake you again. That is not loss. That is preparation.